job. We are live. We got people over the phone and staff. Have staff in front of me, and we're live on 2 different video cameras. And life is good, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. That's good. Today we're going to be talking about how to become an active listener. Get somebody out there right now. Have them join this mindset phone call. This is where your lives will change. This is where your hearts will change. And quite frankly, this is where your income will change. We got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Listen, you guys scoot up for me. Scoot up. Welcome all of you that are live with us. We're getting ready to get started. Scoot up. If you guys want to ask questions, I guess today you can if you want to ask questions, because this is a subject that we all struggle in. Again, I do have staff over the phone, especially my trusty assistant and CEO. So she's running a chat somewhere. I have no idea where, but I will tell you, thank you for calling in. I do appreciate you. The phone lines are filling up. We see that you are over the phone, and I am ever so grateful. I even see that you are here online with me, and I'm ever so grateful then. We're going to accept questions over the phone, and, well, I'm going to have you muted over the phone, so you can't give me questions there. But if you find the Facebook feed, or if you email info@theatsjr.com, I'll be able to answer your questions. If you're over the Facebook live feed, I will have someone in front of me, you right there in front of me, watching the Facebook live feed. I won't watch it so I do not get distracted. 1 minute left. If you're on this phone call, please get someone here. This is one of the most important phone calls that has ever happened of all time. Thank you. I appreciate you. Again, do you guys want to ask questions today as you're eating great ice cream? Didn't that come from the heavens? Yeah, that did come from the heavens. That's great ice cream. Okay, if you guys want to ask questions, you can ask questions. Staff, I believe we are ready now. Well, welcome. We are live at 5, and I definitely appreciate you. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr., and I'm ever so grateful that you would call in to this weekly phone call called the Plant Better Mindset Phone Call. Can you get some claps right there? Yes. Great. Welcome. We will be shooting live as always and getting you guys to be more exposure. I do this for free. This is help. You guys, please get the help. It is free help. Do not suffer alone, and do not suffer at all if you can avoid it. I do appreciate you. I am your farming partner, so to speak, and I will help you plant the seeds that are worthy of the quality of life in which you so desire. Let's move now into the announcement section of this phone call. Besides my most great staff on planet Earth, I have the best staff over the phone and in front of me. They are really the greatest, seriously. They fight poverty. They don't fight each other, and I'm ever so grateful for that. Besides having the greatest staff on planet Earth, I do have a podcast with my trusty assistant, who is also a business partner, and I'm grateful for her. It's called the Brick by Brick, the motivational podcast. It just happens to have my name on it, but I assure you, she is a producer and she hosts a show with me. Brick by Brick, the motivational podcast by Antonio T. Smith Jr. If you miss any part of this phone call, don't worry. You will hear it on that podcast sooner or later. As a matter of fact, an episode just went live about 10 minutes ago. So listen, stop right now. Listen to me. By now, my trusty staff has dropped the link on the Facebook feed so you guys can see that. Go to brickbybrick.podomatic.com, or just go into your Google search bar, type Brick by Brick and Antonio, and it will pop up. Do not stop getting free help. Is that clear? I'm trying to do this for you. This is a top-ranked podcast right now. As of right now, as you're hearing the sound of my voice, We are ranked number 1 in the full business section, right? That's pretty cool. That's number 1, I think like number 7 overall. So don't sleep on this podcast. It is a great podcast for you. Also, I am currently offering a free financial course on my website right now. Or I should say our website, because I have a great team behind us. You can go to theatsjr.com and go to courses, and then you're going to see something called Plant Better Financial. It is free. Hours upon hours of free information. There's no tricks. There's no gimmicks. I'm not upselling you. It is absolutely free. Again, that's theatsjr.com. You will find the Plant Better Financial course. Please take this advice. It's yours. Take it, have it. It is not, it's a $295 class that has been discounted to $0. That right? So everybody likes free things. So go get that. Also, while you're on the website, go to the free content tab. And also, while you're on the website, while you're getting all that free $900 worth of information and my best-selling book, all for free, if you hit the message bar, one of my strategic coaches will be available to talk to you right now. I also offer one-on-one coaching. After this phone call, I'll stand by for about an hour and a half, and I will get the dozens of people every night who call after, or who message afterwards or call or email for a 15-minute consultation. Now, if you're on this call, if you are ready, grab a pen, grab some paper, use the Note app over your phone, do whatever you have to do, however it works. But when you hear something that resonates with your spirit, your soul, or whatever you like to call it, use the hashtag PlantBetter to inspire others and give others hope to get past tomorrow. Today I want to talk to you about becoming an active listener. That's it, right there. Now, think about this here for a second. I've been talking, and I timed it for 5 minutes. That means I have 55 more minutes with you to give you the information you need to get out of poverty. Not to struggle out of poverty, to get out of poverty. But while I've been talking, all of you have thought about what the beans taste like. Did I leave the stove on? I wonder what's happening over there. When is he going to be quiet? I wish he would hurry up. Whatever you've been thinking, that proves you're not an active listener. Here's what I teach my leaders. Here's what I teach the people, my clients, all the people that I do one-on-one around the world. In over 70, I have clients in over 70 different countries. Listen to me. If you desire to be right, you also desire to be poor. If you desire to be right all the time, you also desire to be poor all the time. This is an important concept that's very hard for you to accept because you've been taught right is power. You've been taught correction is constructive. You've been taught that to be the rightest one in the room or the smartest one in the room makes you money, and the truth is the smartest person in the room, you'll never know they're there. The truth is millionaires don't wear $1 million worth of clothes. And neither do they argue with you. They fight poverty and not you. This is important. This is an important concept to grasp. If you desire to be poor, be right all the time. The truth is, my brothers, my sisters, in prosperity, as Lisa Nichols would say, I need to tell you that if you desire to always be right, you're never in harmony with your surroundings or the people in your surroundings. So if you're always winning, that means the other side is always losing. Life is a scale. Now, I'm not telling you there are rules, That's up to you to decide. What I am telling you is the people who talk 10% of the time and listen 90% of the time are the people who do not have to ask you for $2,000. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. Right now, I have a business ready right now that you can invest $30,000 in. Right now. Right now at this very moment. Now, the truth is, I don't want you to do that because I got it. But the truth is, I do have a business right now that is ready for you to drop $30,000 on. Ask yourself, do you have $30,000 you can get to me or anybody like me in the next 72 hours? If the answer is no, that means one thing for sure. And the second also means that thing for sure as well. It means that in your level of awareness, in your level of consciousness, the way to get to $30,000 to invest in a company doesn't exist in your level of awareness. That means no matter how smart you think you are, and I say this with the greatest of respect, you're not as smart as you claim, or you're not as right as you claim, because your breakthrough is not currently on your level of awareness. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So I'm already walking hard and I'm trying to do it with a great tone. Okay. Secondly, those people who have those amount of income, well, that amount of income, I should say, they are 99% active listeners. What does active listening mean? I'll break that down to you completely. But to actively listen also means, to actively listen, it also means that you are listening to what everyone around you is saying without formulating thoughts in your head. Now I'll get back to that and I'll punch that over and again. Why is it important for you to actively listen? Here's why it's important for you to actively listen. When you actively listen, now I've done this before and I've been blessed by this before. When you actively listen, you actually remember the person's name that you just shook the hands of. And then, when you actively listen, you remember someone's name, you meet them in the elevator 5 years later, and you say, hey, John, how's it going? How's Susie, Tom, and the kids? And at that very moment, whatever you're selling, you can sell to that person because you actively listen and you remember their name 5 years later. Now, someone went, I'm not selling anything. Everybody is selling everything every day. You did not go to a job interview. Listen, player, Mr. Boss Man, I ain't come here to work. I came here to steal time. I came here to do whatever I want to do and give me a check. Nobody did that. You sold yourself at the job interview. You sold yourself at your relationship. So I have 5 things. This is universal knowledge amongst people who have a self-sustaining income, okay? It is not universal knowledge amongst poor people. It is not universal knowledge among the middle class. It is universal knowledge amongst people who do not live in the matrix and who can finance themselves and have prosperity. 5 things. In order for you to become an active listener, there are 5 things. Thing number 1, common sense. Pay attention. Now, wow, what a commonsensical concept that I just gave you. Let me tell you something. Guys, you don't pay attention. You don't pay attention. Some of you, and this is the truth, you drive home. You have no idea how you got home. You don't know how many red lights you stopped at. You don't remember stopping at those stop signs. You zoned out. You listen to your music. You got on your phone, and you absolutely didn't pay attention to any details. And you ended up at home because it is a procedure in which you do all the time. Am I lying about that? Right? You get up, you don't think about how many things were in your bathroom as you were brushing your teeth. The only time you pay attention to your bathroom is for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. Okay, if you're just running through life, if the city done cut your water bill off and you go ahead and turn your water and you go, oh, this isn't working properly, or if there's a roach climbing on the ceiling. These are the only two reasons that you actually pay attention to your bathroom. Unless somebody didn't flush the toilet properly, if that makes sense. Somebody didn't flush the toilet, and you, listen, pay attention to everything. When I was in military intelligence, United States Army, I joined the Army of the United States August 2nd, 2000, and they put me in military intelligence due to high test scores, and I am grateful for that. But I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this to impress upon you. They taught me something very important. It was called ATD, or attention to detail. Everything in my life is important to me. Everything happening in my day is important to me. Now watch this here. Everything that you're saying to me is important to me. People buy my products. People enlist in my coaching. People download my podcast. Not because I know what I'm talking about. Because I care enough to pay attention to them. You missed it. I'm looking. Everybody missed it. Let me say it again. People don't care how smart I am. They do not care that I have my own brand. You don't care that I'm in 70 different countries, probably 80 by now. You don't care that my podcast is number. No one cares. The only thing you actually care about is if I care enough to pay attention to you. My job and my income is not only predicated upon, but also dependent upon, which is pretty much the same thing, pleasing people. Not being a people pleaser, but letting people know that when you meet me, no matter how busy I am, you are the most important thing I have done all day. Hashtag plant better. I'm not letting you run over that. Your job is to treat people as if that person is the most important thing you've done all day long. Don't miss this. This is a very important phone call. Now someone's going, well, where's the notes? I don't have any notes. You have no idea that I literally gave you the whole phone call in 15 minutes. You have no idea that I gave you every single thing you need to get from wherever you are to 100 times percent more. That makes no sense because mathematically makes no sense. Because percent means times 100. 100% more than what you have right now. I gave you everything. Let me repeat what I just told you. Get out your ego. Pay attention to what's in front of you. Pay attention to who you're talking to. And make sure when they leave you, they feel like you were the most important thing you've done all day. Don't worry about it. I'll repeat it because you should have wrote it down. Get out your ego, number one. I'm still in number one. Get out your ego. Pay attention to everything around you. And then pay attention to the person in front of you. And then make sure when that person leaves from in front of you, they feel like you are the most, that they are the most important thing that you have done all day. Can you imagine how much more money you would make if everybody in your life felt like whenever they talk to you, you made them feel like the most important thing that you've done all day? Think about that. Think about all the places that you ended your monthly contract with. Think about all the cell phone bills you disconnected. Think about all the electric companies you left because the person over the phone was not listening to you. I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, let's be real. Think about the arrogant guy you dated that you're never going to date again, no matter how attractive he is, because his conversation was all about him and his muscles and his car and whatever, and never about you. Now, listen, I'm literally telling you something that has been around the world for a long time. And Dale Carnegie, it's Dale Carnegie, in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is the number 3 book I've ever read in my life, the most important book in my life. If I had 3 books to choose from, I would choose Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen. I have no idea how to say his last name. Capital L is his last name letter. And How to Win Friends and Influence People. So let me tell you again, slowly as I possibly can. I'm saying it over and over and over again because I'm about to move on and I'm about to move fast. But if you can't hear what I'm saying now, you're going to miss the rest of this phone call. What am I saying? Get out your ego. Step number 1. Get out your ego. And then pay attention to everything around you. And then while you pay attention to everything around you, pay attention to the people around you. And when they're talking to you, when they leave you, they need to feel like they were the most important person that you've talked to all day. Now imagine that. Imagine how you would buy my network marketing product if I made you feel good. Think about it. Think about it. Imagine if I was a bodybuilder or what you call them fitness people, personal trainer. Imagine if I was a personal trainer and you didn't just lose weight, I made you feel good while you were in my gym. Imagine how people with cheaper prices, you would say no, because when I go there, I get treated like a human being. Guys, listen to me. Listen to me. I need you to get this here. Because the truth is, almost 85% of psychologists, no, 95% of psychologists would tell you that 85% of people are in dysfunctional families. Listen to this. 85% of people are in dysfunctional families. What does that mean? That means ain't nobody out there listening to them. And they got to go outside their family to find a cousin or a best friend that's like a sister to them. Those are facts. Think about who your best friend is. Listen, if you ain't caught this, you can be siblings and not friends. You can be parents and not friends. Hell, you can be married and not friends. This is why some of y'all got a work husband and a work wife, because they listen to you. And when you go home, your significant other does not. At the end of the day, people want 2 things in life. Write these 2 things down. At the end of the day, people want 2 things in life. They want to live out the highest expression of themselves, and they want to be heard. Please listen to me. People want to live out the highest expression of themselves, and they want to be heard. If you've ever been divorced or going through a divorce or are divorced, it's all because you haven't been heard. Yes, they did something, but when you approached them with it, they didn't hear your actual problem. If you haven't guessed this here, write this down too. You can spend all your time proving points and never solving the problem. You can spend all your time proving points and never solving the problem. I'm trying to help you. I'm still on number 1. I ain't moving because you ain't listening. Simple. I can repeat everything that I said. You can talk to me and I can repeat everything you said. And you will always come back to this phone call, this podcast, this whatever. If you're my customer or my whatever, it's because I listen to you. It's not because I'm intelligent. Yes, I'm intelligent. That don't give a damn about. Nobody cares about that. The only thing people cares about is if I care about you enough to pay attention. So think about this in your life. Are you promoted? Are you not promoted because they don't like you? Or are you not promoted because they really don't like who you are? Nobody would ever promote anybody they don't like hanging with. Why would I promote you to work directly under me, work with you 40 hours a week, and you make me sick? Not trying to be mean. I'm just spitting facts. If you actively listen to people, you will win their hearts. Have you ever had an enemy that you just knew they were never going to like you, and finally the situation exploded, and they talked and you talked, and everybody was angry, and then you finally heard something, they finally heard, and they went, I didn't even know you felt that way. No, that's not what I said. I didn't even. And after that massive argument, y'all became friends. Even if you're not drinking buddies, you were no longer enemies trying to get each other fired. If you listen to one another, it'll change your income. How can you answer phone calls if you haven't listened? How can you expand your income if you have not listened? Does that make sense? This is very, 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 very times 1.025 E37. That's a really large number. Here's what I'm saying. Actively listen or be broke. So, look at the speaker directly. Well, I don't have any confidence. Yes, you should write that down. Look at the speaker directly. I'm still at number 1. I'm teaching you now how to act. Well, I've been teaching you how to actively listen. Now I'm getting really into it. Look at the speaker directly. There is nothing worse than talking to someone and they're not looking at you. I used to have this terrible habit. I'm a super active listener. And then you know what? When smartphones came out, I don't know why I couldn't stop texting while people was talking to me. Do you know that person? I'm doing it no more, right? Do you know that person? That the moment okay, so she said that you guys can't see, and I got somebody in front of me and just looked down in pure shame. There's nothing worse than talking to someone who's not looking at you and they're texting. Listen, if you're talking to me and you texting, you saying, I don't care what you're saying, you don't mean nothing to me. Whoever's on this phone is more important than you. And what do you think? Do you think I'm going to buy your product? Do you think I'm going to date you? Do you really think you have any influence with me? All a leader ever has is influence. Lose your influence, you lose your leadership. Those are facts. You can have positional leadership, and people will only do for you exactly what that position requires. Or you can have influential leadership, and people will literally give you more than 100%. Look at the person directly. Guess what that means? You're going out to eat. Maybe you should listen to them. It's okay to miss a few calls while talking to people. Here's what I've actually done. When I used to hire, well, I still hire. When I first started hiring in corporate America, this is the honest to God truth. Listen, I'd hire people. I hired 2 people a week because the company was pretty big. I hired 2 people a week. Now watch this here. I asked them a bunch of questions, series of questions. I only cared about one thing because the job required people to listen. Not quick learners, because everybody says that. Here's what I did. I asked a bunch of questions. I always made sure the interview lasted between 15 and 20 minutes. And then I go, all right, this is a good job. Listen, I have one more question for you. What's the first thing I said to you? And 98% of the people failed. And I would ask a simple question. Hey, how's it going? I'm doing okay, doing good. Hey, I like that shirt. Where'd you get it from? And right there, I asked a question. And they missed it. Because I waited 20 minutes, came back and asked you, what's the first thing that I asked you? If I'm not important enough for you to listen to me and I'm hiring you, you cannot work here. How many more people like me that have that? Listen, you ain't gotta like me all you want to. I have my own economy. I want for nothing. I'm not Steve Harvey or Mark Zuckerberg, but I ain't asking none of y'all for nothing. How many more people like me have tested you and you have no idea? You would never, ever, 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 ever get ahead in life not listening. You know why? Because wise, wealthy people, people of prosperity, people of a higher level of consciousness knows that in order to win friends, you have to listen. It's not just about the product. You can have a great product, and if you're not listening to your customers, you will never survive in that industry. So, I ask all of you, I started this phone call. What's the number one thing I've said? What have I repeated over and over and over again? Yes, it is listen. What did you say?
Your job is to treat people as if they're the most important thing you
Boom! She's got it. Over and over and over and over again, I've stressed one main point. When people leave your presence, they need to feel like they were the most important thing you've done all day long. So, how do you do that? I'm still inside number one. Put aside distracting thoughts. Yes. Look at the speaker directly. Put aside distracting thoughts. What does that mean? Oh, he's cute. And then you lost everything. You know what? It's over now. It's over. You didn't even, he talking, you looking at his neck muscles, you know, say he got tattoos you like, or he's tall, dark, and handsome, or he's got, they ain't here laughing because they understand what I'm saying. He's cute. And you haven't heard a word that man saying at all. Or, fellas, she's cute. You know what? She has a brain too. That's fair. It's not, she don't just have D cups or whatever it is that you like. This is my phone call. I can get as real as I want. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe she's more than just pretty legs and a pair of breasts. Maybe if you listen, you still be with her. Boy, I'm sure walking hard today. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that if you want to keep her, you may want to listen to her. That's all I'm saying. Now, here's one of the most powerful things. I cannot. Please write this down. Please, 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 please. While listening, do not pre-plan your rebuttal. Oh my God. Do you know how much y'all do that? Mm-hmm. You heard something and you had this clever idea. Ooh, man, I can fix that. And then you go, you got your idea in your head, and you go, here's my correction for you. You do one or two things. Actually, you do two things every time, 100%. You invalidate whatever that person just said. That's number one. And guess what you do? Since you have your rebuttal, and it's a good one, you cut them off. Now, who in here enjoy? Already got a head. Who in here cannot stand being cut off by people that act like what they have to say is not more important than what you have to say? And here's the crazy thing. Even if they had a great idea, you no longer care. They cut you off. I'm not, you know what? I mean, how many of you have actually checked out of a conversation? The guy was still talking or the girl was still talking, but you checked, smooth out that conversation because they act like you too dumb not to finish the sentence. Would you ever buy that person's company? Would you ever invest in that person's company? Yeah. Would you ever buy their coffee that they're selling you network marketing? Or their energy? I'm trying to help you out. Listen, just because you're smart doesn't give you the right to invalidate people. And just because you're smart doesn't mean that you're smart in that subject. And even if you are smart in that subject does not mean that you can smart me to taking money out of my pocket. Because I'm not buying your products because you're smart. I'm buying your products because you care. Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
I don't care that you are smart. You know how many people out here are smart?
Mm-hmm.
I care that you care. That's what I care about. So since I'm on network marketing, let me go ahead and tell you how you should look at your network marketing company. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Is anybody wondering how to pick your next network marketing company? Number one, look at the person talking to you, not the product. Look at the person talking to you. The person trying to get you in. Look at them and ask yourself, is this person willing to listen to me and coach me to where I want to be? That's it. I'm going to give you 3 things. But listen, ask yourself, is this person willing to listen to me and then do whatever it takes to get me to whatever the top level of that company is? Ruby, Diamond, I don't know. I don't know what you do. But you understand what I'm saying? Look at the person first. Number 2, then look at the compensation plan. Because if the compensation plan doesn't make sense, no sense in you even doing it. I don't care if you're selling Bibles, number 1 printed book in the world. If the compensation plan don't make sense, you ain't making no money. I wish I had somebody. You can sell Bibles. You can be Muslim and sell Bibles if the compensation plans work. You can be atheist and sell Bibles. There are probably plenty of atheists selling Bibles. It don't matter. If the compensation plan makes money, people out there making money. Look at the person, look at the compensation plan. If the compensation plan is complex, it can't be duplicated. Simplicity is duplicated, not complexity. And lastly, look at the product. So if the person is an active listener and a leader and will get you where you want to go, if the compensation plans work out, then you can look at the product. That's why y'all keep doing these network marketing companies that ain't working out for you. Well, part of the reason why. Some of it is timing. Some of that's timing. You might want to get in a tad bit earlier than what you did. But besides timing, you're with the wrong person. Have you ever done that? You got with somebody, you try to call them, they just got you in and they burned out. You're with the wrong person and you ain't looking at the compensation plan. Let's move on. Now, while you're talking to somebody, here's one of the main things that you can do. Get distracted by your environment. Now, I'm still on number 1. I'm going to press number 1 for a long time. Okay? Don't get distracted by your environment. Car roll by. Ooh, that was a nice car. Ooh, look at those rims. Oh, man. Look at that kid over there. Oh, he's sagging his pants. All that time, you've stopped listening to me. I cannot tell you how many people that I have not invested in because they were poor listeners. If you won't listen to me and you want my money, you sure enough ain't listening to your team. Those are facts. Now, last one. Listen to the last one and number 1. Listen to the person's body language, please. If their arms are folded, they probably are defensive. Maybe your tone is off. Maybe you're saying the right thing with the wrong tone. Make sense? People's 90% of communication is nonverbal. You've been taught from birth how to listen to people and their body actions. Number 2, show that you are listening. Now, let's get to the real stuff. Watch this here. Some of y'all think talking shows that you're listening. I want to tell you bluntly, and I apologize. I don't really apologize. I want to tell you, if you talk more than 80%, you're probably poor. I can almost guess your income, which makes me guess your class, which also makes me guess the amount of debt that you have. Because you talk too much. People who talk too much are poor. These are facts. If you want wealth, or at least be comfortable or whatever, but part of, so wealth is all mindset. A big chunk of that mindset is to listen. If you talk more than 80% of a conversation when someone's talking to you, you're poor or you're in the middle class. I don't care how much you confuse or lie to yourself. You having a Lexus don't mean nothing if your car broke and the house broke. You talking too much leads to your poverty or middle classness, which is still poverty. Now, be fair, it's not poverty in some countries, because you can be poor in America and still live better than kings of past days. And now, so we have our own problems. Either way, if you talk too much, you're not living your dreams. Those are facts. Now, if you want to pay attention, look at someone and just do small head gestures. Not, yeah, that's right. I sure understand. No. That's pop culture has taught you that. We got nice little funny videos. The woman's talking, yeah, baby. If you're talking, you're cutting off. If you're cutting off, you're offending. If you're offending, you're losing influence. If you lose influence, you're losing money. Can I do that again? If you're talking, you're cutting off. If you're cutting off, you're offending. If you are offending, you're losing influence. And if you're losing influence, you're losing money. Hashtag plant better. So just nod occasionally while looking at them. If your cell phone go off and you're not waiting on $1 million phone call, and your kid doesn't have asthma and you don't know if they don't have their pump, you would impress the person more by letting that phone ring. You've gotten to a point, before cell phones, you didn't run to your house every 5 minutes to see if your phone was ringing. That was back in the day when you had to actually hang the phone up on the receiver with the cord, the little spin cord. And remember how it used to get bad and you should show it out when we couldn't hear it. And we went to Walmart and bought one for $10. And we got, okay, you understand. Some of y'all may not be old enough, but you understand hanging up the phone actually meant something. It don't mean nothing today. We get mad and we click in and it doesn't give it don't get that same effect of I'm angry with you. Yeah. Back in the day, you used to all over the place, you understand? And then you leave the phone off the hook so it'd be the busy signal. Y'all, if you hear a busy signal now, it's a hurricane and it hit your town and the cell phone towers are down. But nod. Not talk. Nod. Look at them. Nod. You'll save a life by actively listening. I'll get to that in a little bit. But you can literally save a life by actively listening. But I'll get to that at the end. Now, while you're actively listening, smile. You know what a smile does when you're talking to people? Not only does it show you that you're nice, here's the most important thing. It shows them you enjoy what they're talking about. Please write this down. Smile while someone is talking, and you tell them, keep talking. Why is this important? Because people are selfish, and they want to dominate the conversation. And they will swear up and down that you are the greatest conversationalist on planet Earth. And all you did was sit there and listen. They'll go, man, she's great. No, seriously. Wow, she did a great job. Seriously, man, go talk to her. Hey, what's your business card? Can I get your products? I want to recommend you to somebody. 90% of business is retention. And if you want retention, you need customer referrals. You want customer referrals, and ain't sponsoring an ad on Facebook. It's belly to belly, word of mouth. And if you want people to give you word of mouth, you may want to have them have a good experience with you. Let me prove that to you. Have a good experience at a restaurant, you'll tell one person. Have a bad experience at a restaurant, You gonna tell everybody you see that day. You gonna post on your social network. Don't y'all go here. It was such and such and such and such. You gonna find Yelp, give them a 1-star review. If they got a podcast, you gonna leave a negative comment. You gonna do whatever. And then tomorrow when you wake up, you still gonna say, I ain't going there back there no more. And you can't wait. Literally, you would never go back to this restaurant. They done probably changed the service, the provider, but just, for you, food tasted bad. It's a wrap. I ain't never going back there again. This might as well just be a hole in the street, right there at that building, because you never going back because it was negative. Listen, I said that for a reason. Some of y'all are being treated that way like the bad restaurant. Somebody had a bad experience with you in the conversation, and they told everybody they could. And that is why your business is not the way it should be. That is exactly why you keep trying to be a life coach and people are like, nah, ain't something wrong with her. That is exactly why that you sit up here trying to be a fitness trainer and people are like, nah, I ain't never going to fitness with her whatsoever. That's why whenever you call them people about your network marketing, you ain't even listening. They ain't listening to you. They are treating you like the bad restaurant, and they done told everybody they saw. You know what? Don't you go over there with, give me a name, ain't no name I know. Don't you go over there with Vanessa. I don't know no Vanessas. I don't know anybody named Vanessa, so we good to go. Don't you go over there with Vanessa. Don't you go over there with Coca-Cola. That's a dude now, okay? Don't you go over there with Vanessa or Coca-Cola, because they gon', now tell the truth. How many of y'all know some really dirty stuff about people and they don't even know you know? I'm afraid to tell you, my friends in prosperity. People are doing you the same way if you keep cutting them off. And if people are avoiding you like that nasty restaurant, just like them, you losing money. Now, just to be real, I got a friend that worked for me, and she ain't trying to lose $1, not a dime, not a potential dime. And if you anything like her, the only thing that can really make you mad is taking money out your pocket. But I'm afraid you're taking money out your own pocket because you talk too much. Number 3. Hard one here. Provide feedback. Now see, this is the real test, because y'all want to provide feedback while somebody talking. No, you can't do that. You need to, and I say this to my leaders all the time, I'll say it to you. Your feedback should be so genuine, and your listening should be so genuine, that you literally forget all that cool stuff you wanted to say while they was talking. You forget more than what you wanted to say. And you hear more about everything they said. Every time you talk to people, you should forget all the cool stuff you wanted to say, so you can hear all the cool stuff they actually said. I say this all the time. I'm probably at my funeral, somebody's going to say, he said this all the time. I'm telling you right now. You should forget more of the cool stuff that you wanted to say and hear all the cool stuff that they wanted to say. So, provide feedback. When do you provide feedback? When they are finished. Remember, if 90% of communication is nonverbal, and if you've been looking at them in the eye, and if you've been smiling at them the whole time, you've actually been providing feedback with your body language. And the feedback has been, you are doing such a great job. I am so glad. Wow, you're a great conversationalist. You really know your subject, and you never said a single word. You looked at them and smiled. Is this getting across? Mm-hmm. You will say more by being silent than you can ever say with your mouth. If you're looking at them and you're smiling, they are already thinking You're a nice person. Now watch this here. It's probably best for you to let people think how awesome you are than to think how stupid you are. Hashtag plant better. I'm giving you hashtags tonight. Listen, this just makes sense. You much rather people walk away saying, man, that was a great person, that's a great person, than, you know what, she didn't hear where I said. I was in a meeting a week and a half ago. And the guy, now I was in a, let me be very careful. Be very careful. I was in a meeting a week and a half ago, and the guy has 100% of his money up. 100% of his money up. The guy's little team. Now, he's a master businessman. He understands people. So, he knows how to handle people when they're not listening. But I can assure you all, nobody on his team and nobody in that room was listening to this person. The meeting had an extra 90 minutes of fluff because nobody was listening. And the fluff wasn't coming from him. Now, if you're not listening to the person paying you and has 100% of their monetary value at risk and none of yours, if you're not listening to your boss, imagine how you treat your spouse. Think about that for a second. Some of your relationship problems is not because you did wrong. It's because you've been wrong. Because you don't listen. I am afraid to tell you, a big chunk of why you guys are poor or not living your dreams is because you're too arrogant to listen. So you provide feedback when they're finished. You should listen, especially over the phone. You should listen so well over the phone. People have to go, hello? Hello? You still there? Oh yeah, I'm still here. That's how awesome you should listen. Like seriously. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. That's how great you should listen over the phone. They should literally, your noise cancellation headphones should just cancel out all the environment since you ain't talking, try to be magnified stuff. Your headphones should be confused because you so silent. That's how much you should listen. Like when you actually listening, your headphones, all the headphones now, Bluetooth and that, they all got noise cancellation technology. So when you're not talking, it'll be picking up your air conditioning, kids in the background, TV, and then you'll be picking up. Your headphones should be so confused because you're listening that much. But I'm telling y'all, you're poor because you don't listen. And the fight is against poverty. It has never been and never will be against how smart that person is. The fight has never been against a conversation. You can be right in that conversation all you want to. You're still poor. Which leads me to number 4. Don't judge that conversation. This is universal knowledge. You can nearby Google this knowledge. These are this is like a 5-step program. This is universal. Stop judging. When people are talking to you, why are you formulating negative opinions? It doesn't matter if they don't know what they're talking about. Your job is to, what's the one thing I've been saying over and over?
Make them feel like the most important thing they've done all day.
Make them feel like they're the most important thing they've done all day. When you've done that, then you can correct them. When you've made them feel like they are the most important thing that you've done all day, then you can say, hey, you know what? Man, you had a lot of ideas. I wonder if we can also include this here. And they go, oh, you know what? That's actually better than what I was. They have no problem conceding to you. You know why? Because people only want 2 things. I'll repeat them just in case you didn't write them down. to live the highest expression of themselves, and to be heard. Those are the only... I've been all around the world. Some of that's classified. I've been all around the world. I've been all around the world. I'm telling you, I've looked at this, I've engaged this, and everybody, black, white, Jew or Gentile, rich or poor, president or not, they all want two things: to live the highest expression of themselves. Criminals want to be the greatest criminals. Basketball players want to be the greatest basketball player. Businessmen want to be the best businessmen. Investors want to be the best investors. Prostitutes want to be the greatest prostitutes to stay alive. It doesn't matter. Everybody in their lane wants to be the greatest expression of themselves. We're not really at competition with other people. We're always at competition with ourselves. Psychologists call it self-actualization. Everybody wants to live out the highest expression of themselves and want to be heard. Let's jump into it. Some relationships. I have 7 minutes left. I got to hit you with it. You ever had somebody be wrong and all you wanted them to do was understand how hurt you was? Come on now, help me out. Help me out. Look, y'all can talk back down in front of me. They need to hear you over the phone.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you understand. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that you was mad. You are mad. But what really made you mad was how disrespectful they were when you pointed out to them. I wish I had somebody.
Whoop.
Now, think about that for a second. Think about that. Is it because you're stupid? Nope. Terrible word. I shouldn't use that, right? Is it because you're ignorant? Nope. Is it because you're insecure? Nope. It's because you were not heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are facts, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of you finna go home right now to an argument that you've been having for a week. You and your spouse or significant other or whatever you want to call it ain't slept together, ain't did nothing because y'all mad at each other. And the only thing that it would take to resolve it is for you to be heard. Or maybe you're the one not listening. At the end of the day, people want to be heard. How many relationships would you still be in if you listened? How many relationships would... Let me not do that. You get the point. At some point, everybody wants to be heard. Wow. Being the highest expression of themselves. Now let's bring up religion for a second. Got to do it because y'all ain't listening. You know how many times you left that church or a church? You know why? Because you were no longer being heard. You don't believe that? Andy Stanley says it the best way I've ever heard in my life. A leader who refuses to listen to his people will be surrounded by people who eventually have nothing to say. Andy Stanley, I didn't even make that up. I can't even take credit for that. Andy Stanley on his leadership podcast a couple of years ago says a leader who refuses to listen to his people will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say. What does that mean? That means all the people with ideas will leave and go somewhere else where they can be heard. And the only people left are the people who don't care and have no ideas. Maybe your business is suffering because the people who could have changed it have come work for me. Or people like me. Maybe your relationship... Okay, that wasn't part of the script, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm so not going to do that, okay? So, basically, be careful how you get mad at people because they go off and be heard somewhere else. That's the way I'm going to do that, okay? All right, number 5. Number 5. after you have heard them appropriately, respond correctly. Do you know what that does? When you respond correctly, that means you was listening. How can I leave you feel like you heard me if when I asked you, did you hear me? And you was like, oh yeah, you talking about ponies. What? I don't even like ponies. I'm allergic to them. I don't even know if it's possibly allergic to ponies. But either way, you understand what I'm saying? It probably is possible. You understand what I'm saying? And respond correctly. That's number 5. Very simple. Respond correctly. Don't lie to people. But after you have heard them, you can actually offer correction if you have the proper tone. Now let's talk real for the next 2 minutes. Guys, I want you to listen to me. My job is to change the world and the flow of the energy that's already here. So listen to me. I know this for sure. I know this because it's consistent and will always be. There is somebody in your life right now, really close. You say you got a question? Okay, give me. I got a question. Okay, give me a question first. Okay, give me a question real quick.
How are 3 and 5 different?
So 3 and 5, providing feedback, I was saying provide non-talking feedback. So my apologies to whoever asked that question. Great job, because you just clarified it for everybody else. Provide feedback with your facial expressions, your eye contact, your body gestures, not you talking. Number 5 proves that you listen because you're able to respond correctly because you actually heard what they said. Does that work? All right, so you typing that answer for that person?
They said thanks.
Oh, they said thanks. Sweet. Whoever you are, thank you. That's great. Like, do that every call if you don't mind, because that was great clarity. I appreciate you. Listen, let me end with this. I know this scientifically, statistically. Hear me well, please. Somebody in your life right now, they're getting ready to commit suicide. So let's talk about it, because nobody's listening to them. Now, if you have empathy, you've already feel these people. Somebody is just one person away from listening to them, and they'll still be on planet Earth tomorrow. Everybody over this phone call knows someone that's about to take their life. Even if you're not conscious of it, they've been telling you every step of the way, but nobody listens. It's no different how a single person can go into a club and find a single person, because every second of every day, we're pushing out what we want and who we are. And only the people listening to our nonverbal communication are the people who receive our actions. I want to challenge you, because somebody's getting ready to die because of you. And that's not okay. It's not okay to be so arrogant that you're not hearing someone with a broken heart. It's not okay to make somebody a hashtag because you wouldn't listen. Actively listening not only puts money in your pocket, but it literally saves a life. It is now your responsibility that you've been introduced to this information to listen to the people that are masking their depression with their smile. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. I can't tell you what to do with your life. I can only give you guidance and help you plant the better seeds that are worthy of you. If you're ever in our area, I definitely appreciate you. Please go by to the Plant Better tab on the ATSJR. Sign up for the podcast right now, brick by brick. Motivational Podcast by Antonio Smith, and my assistant, who is probably the most empathetic person on planet Earth. Save a life Sign up for the podcast. Download this. Thank you for coming out. God bless you. And good night.